Hi Varun, welcome and
Hey.
thanks for being here from Tijori side team. And to everybody who is watching this, we are going to have a walkthrough of Tijori, how Tijori helps in equity research, and what are some of the interesting USP features and what are some of the new features and pipeline. But before that, Varun, we would like to know how Tijori got started and what is your vision where you would like to take Tijori.
Yeah, so like Saurabh, because you've seen it since the beginning. We meaning co-founders and we always were attending the Bangalore investor groups and value picker meetings and stuff. We are fundamental long-term investors ourselves. Uh, and we noticed that, it's easy to get the commoditized financial row and column type of data, but to actually get unstructured information which investor needs, like market share and revenue broken up along dimensions of location, product, segment, asset wise, and metrics of companies, like what is its capacity, utilization, realizations, uh, EBITDA per ton, whatnot. Getting those is not commoditized, but is very important for an investor to know. At least a very serious investor who wants to do his own or her own research. And organically, we thought we would just do it for the 20 companies we had, and then we shared that with people who are also investing in those companies. Then we said, okay, let's do it for 100 popular companies, and 100 became 200, and that snowballed, and that became what the jury is today.
So Varun,
Yeah.
why don't we jump directly to Tijori and
Yeah,
let's
sure.
browse through and understand, what are the key
Sure.
features in Tijori?
Okay, so this is basically the landing page of our website, at least earlier. Now it's changed a bit. We can get to that later. But so this is the landing page of our website, and maybe I'll just take a minute to tell you our thought process, because then how we think and where we're going and all, and why it's differentiated will make sense. So how we think about, our framework for understanding, how people um kind of invest in financial products, whether it's direct equity or mutual funds or whatnot, is there is a four-step process. So there's discovery, research, transaction, and then you do tracking. Now, what that means is, if you're a serious investor and you dig through many, you run a filter maybe, or you hear it in the newspaper, you've discovered maybe 10, 20 companies. Of those, you want to dig in and do research for those. Once you do your research and you pick the one that you want to buy, you actually need to transact and execute it. And once you execute it, you track it. So you have it in your portfolio, you have a event feed, hopefully somewhere telling you news and exchange filings or insider trades of those companies. And that's the loop for direct equity. That loop actually holds good for most asset classes. It's just that many you don't track. Like in an FD, there's nothing to research. You just have 20 banks. You finish your research there. You transact on it by, uh, just going to your bank website or whatnot. And then there's not much tracking to do. But these basic four steps are there for every financial product. And it so happens that each of the four steps are difficult for equity. Yeah. So, like I said, we think of it as discovery, research, transaction, tracking, no matter which financial product. Right now, we are only doing for direct equity. And in direct equity, we've been very focused right now on discovering companies and researching them. So, there's still no transaction on our platform. And tracking we've built recently, which we'll get to when we talk about what's next and what our focus is on in the next year or two. But as of now, we've been heavily focused on discovery and research of companies. Okay. So, the first step, I guess, is okay, when you say discovery, how do you exactly discover companies? Right. So, there are many ways. And, when I try to explain how you actually go about it, you'll see maybe some features which are there in other websites, and there are some features which might be unique to Tijori. And so, that'll give a proper flow and proper understanding of where we stand. Okay, so like I said, for discovery, research, transaction tracking, we've been focusing on discovery and research. And so, of course, now if I want to discover companies, what differentiates us, right? So, on one, there can be a few things. So, I'll just start in no particular order. If you see on the top right of Tijori, let me just move this side pane. on the top right of Tijori, there's a button called filter. Filter is basically how you filter or run query or screen for companies. So if you click this, let
So
me just
whenever
click it
somebody
here.
asks, how do you gather ideas? These are the various ways how we can gather
Exactly.
ideas into it.
So I just come up with 4-5 ways you can use Tijori to gather ideas. And in the process, we learn about many features, hopefully. Because I mean, there's no point talking about features if you can't backtrack it to how it's useful to you,
Great.
right? So, so, so filter is basically how you screen for ideas. Uh, there are obvious ways you can screen. Like if I just click here and go to popular query, so I mean, you can save your query and stuff like that. If I go to popular queries and you might be like, I want companies which run based on some criteria settled out by Marcellus or whatever. I mean, that's just a way to screen for companies or filter for companies. But out of the 2,500, you will boil it down to a certain set of companies, and that is your first discovery process. That okay, of the 2,000 companies, let me now I've boiled it down to 14 companies that I want to research. Okay, basically in our heads, screening or filtering is that it's a discovery mechanism of companies, right? So of course you can filter by financial fields on Tijori. I mean, there are a whole bunch of financial fields over here: balance sheet, cash flow, profit loss, whatnot. You will find the financial field. If you ever want to look for something and you are wondering if it's there, you can just search there, like, and search for ROC, and you will find it: average, historic values, growth values, whatnot. You can also search. I know Saurabh talks a lot about blending technicals with fundamentals. You can also search for some pseudo technical parameters. It's not. I mean, like, because we are geared towards fundamental investors, they're not that many, and we have only what's mainly used by fundamental investors. But you can filter companies by, say, their DMA, EMA, how much they're down from 52-week high, returns over a week, month, quarter, the trading volumes on the exchange, the RSI 14-day values, the ADX values, and stuff like that. So you can literally type companies with ROC greater than 30% and ADX greater than 30 and RSI 14 greater than 40 and whatnot. I mean, you get the idea, right? So filtering is a way to discover companies. Of course, the question is, this filtering is available in a lot of other places. One differentiator that we have here is, because we structure unstructured data, you can filter on not just financial data, but even business data. So I'll just give you a concrete example. Now, if I just go to popular queries and scroll down and if I go to market share, now you might want to look for okay, now auto ancillaries, for example. You might be interested in the auto ancillary industry, and you might want to screen for auto ancillary companies with ROE more than X%, right? That's possible to do in many places. But over here, what you can further filter it down by is, let me just show you. You can also look for, small and mid-cap auto ancillary companies with decent ROE and decent share price growth, but also which have market share more than 50%. Right? Or if you lacks the criteria, maybe with market share more than 10%. So from the universe of 3,000 companies, you've now boiled it down to a very small set of only 7 companies, which is very manageable to either further filter down or to research further. And over here, searching for or querying or filtering by companies which have financial, which pass some financial parameters of yours is possible in many places. But to also add a criteria like which get market share more than X% is something that's differentiated with us and something that's very useful and very heavily used. Right? So, I mean, that's just one example. Saurabh, am I going fast, slow, fine?
No, this is perfectly fine. So we have fundamental financial parameters. We have some technical parameters also added.
Yeah, you can,
then
you
we have
can blend
operational parameters.
Exactly. You can blend it however you want. One of our core philosophies, data, no opinion. So we want to give as less opinion and as much freedom to customize as possible. We will not, and we are not capable of, advising people. That's not our forte. We are more tech based. So that's what we do. All data, no opinion, as much customization and all as possible. That's in your hands. So I'll just give you another example. Maybe you want companies that have market share, but not in India. Even stuff like that is possible if you just type queries like this. And that, I mean, out of 2000 companies, then you have 23 companies. Of course, a lot of people ask us, so our precision is high, but our recall will be low. So maybe there are 100 companies which have good market share outside India. We are showing you 23. So our recall is low, but these 23 for sure have market share outside India.
Yeah.
So accuracy or precision is high.
Whatever you are highlighting, that accuracy is very high. Whatever
Very high.
you missed, there may be few companies which might have, you would have missed.
Yeah.
Oh.
You see, I mean, if I'll just tell you why this is also, I mean, I don't know if so the thing is, if you use any statistical way, like supposing you get served 98 ads out of 100 which are relevant to you, you're okay with 2 not being relevant. But for us, even 2% inaccuracy is not happening.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot have 2% inaccuracy, which is why we have to make some trade-offs in any system that we build, and which is why we've reached a decision to do a high precision system.
Got it.
Okay. So again, we were talking about, and yeah, you can.
And I think this feature, this alternate data query feature, I have not seen on any other, equity research platform.
Yeah, so it's heavily used by people, and you can come here and type and go to what can I type here, and it gives you what all you can put, and you can put any combination.
I can go to.
So you can type.
So let's say if we are in auto, if I want to know which are the auto companies who make brakes, is it possible? Because I saw chemical. So if I want to know,
I can check for brakes. I have lost track of what all products we track.
Brake or suspension or tire, let's say anything.
Yeah, my screen is hung for some reason. Just one second.
Like many times we look for companies.
Yeah, tire. I'm sure tires will be there. Tires more than 10%.
Many times we don't know who are the competitors. I just want to know, like for this company, this product, who are the players?
Yeah. So, one sec. I did something wrong. Is my screen hanging just for me or even for?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
So if I do suspension and braking, for example, it should, I mean, when I choose from the drop down, it should work, but I'm seeing some. So these are all the companies in suspension and braking.
Very interesting.
So in, you are asking for something else?
No, this is what I wanted.
Yeah. So I've lost track of what all products we're tracking till now. So it'll be, you'll just have to basically
This is very helpful.
You can basically just type it there and, figure out.
The reason I asked, because today I had a list of 120 auto companies and I wanted to highlight which auto companies in which kind of ancillary parts. So I think this is very helpful to do it. It won't take me a lot of time and I will have the whole list ready.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's how it can save you time. I know a lot of people use it for companies that make, adhesives, or I don't know, any micro industry, it's used like that a lot. Mm-hmm. And like I was saying, you can just click on what can I type here, and you can see what types of unique, query types you can type. Mm-hmm. And from here, you can customize it to however you want. I mean, add any combination, blend it with some technical parameter, blend it with some fundamental parameter and stuff like that.
And even we can go to the raw material level, because you have which uses this.
Yeah, companies that use this, companies that use it, you can type anything. So companies getting revenue from USA and companies that use ethylene or steel, and it'll do a operation and give you the list. And further, if you want only high ROC companies and stuff like that, you can filter further. And basically, this is an idea generation process.
Great.
Okay. So, I mean, we were talking about discovery. So I'll just quickly walk you through one or two other ways you can generate ideas. Maybe we'll come to timeline later. Another way I know a lot of people generate ideas is if you go to the market screen, like if you can see markets over here. So what we have here is, it's in movement of indices, but what's differentiated here is we make our own indices. So we don't really follow the headline indices because they are arbitrary. Again, people are making, you look at it, it is their opinion of what is important and what might or might not be important. We make our own indices and they're very niche indices. So what that means is, like, you might find a NSE pharma index or a public or private bank index. But if you just take pharma, we have different, like we have a pharma small cap index, we might have a pharma API index, we might have a pharma, I don't know, like large cap index, I've lost track. What you can do is you can see what has moved over time and by how much. So if I just filter here by 5 years, does a lot of data crunching. So
Some
really,
segment tailwinds which could be there.
yeah, exactly. So you can see that, okay, in the last 2 years or last 1 year, packaging films has gone up a lot for some reason. Like, I don't know, I don't really follow this sector, or metal pipes or whatnot. What you can do is you can click plus over here and you can see all the companies which are inside this and what is their weight in this sector.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And based on this price movement, I have found a lot of companies to further research on. Again, this is a discovery mechanism. It's not a research mechanism. It's just a way to find companies.
So all of a sudden, let's say we see 1 month performance of a particular subsegment is like outperforming market. We always think, okay, technical analysis, something is happening in this
Yeah,
sector.
exactly. So this is just a way, like, you know how they say you need to look inside the stock market to tell you. It's just a way to put a microscope and look inside the stock market. So some reason the stock market is telling us for the previous 1 month, bearing index for some reason is not going down.
Mm-hmm. Like
Okay.
last product, it's visible. I don't know why. Last 1 week, there is 7.1%.
Sorry?
Glass product. You have glass product. The
Yeah.
market is bleeding from last 1 week,
Yeah.
but looks like
Yeah.
it has outperformed.
Yeah. So these are so one caveat is these are market cap weighted indices. We want to make equal weight indices as well to kind of remove the momentum effect. But at least it's a reason to think that, okay, why is bearings going up? Then you click plus and you might be like, okay, maybe it's skewed, but then you're like, Timken has gone up 20% in the last 1 month. So, I mean, I have never researched this company. So my next step is always to click on it and at least dig further. Maybe you're not interested in that first 2 minutes also.
Got it.
But it's just a discovery mechanism. Right?
Yeah.
And I'll just talk about one more way, maybe 1 or 2 more ways which you can discover companies. If you just click on raw materials. So we track a whole bunch of chemical prices. I think someone's asking a question, Saurabh. Shekhar.
Let me just see. No, I think we are good. So maybe once we finish this section, we'll go through a round of questions.
Yeah. So, I mean, we track a whole bunch of chemical prices and metal prices. So we've tied up with steel mint. If you just type metal here, we've tied up with steel mint. So you can track ferrochrome, I don't know, silico, manganese prices and whatnot. Why this is useful is, I'll just take you to the chemical bit. I mean, we track nearly 100 chemical prices. Again, if you go to say previous 3-month ka price, and I do it top down, toluene and benzene and cyclohexane ka price has gone up for some reason. Or I'll take PTA's price. Where's that? I just saw it, I think.
And what's the frequency of update of these?
So we collect the data from all the ports and all the sources we collate it by 11:59 p.m. Then we crunch it, clean it, and I think by 9 a.m. it's updated every day at 9 a.m.
So it's as good as a daily level update.
It's a daily update.
Great.
So if I look at this, now I'm like, okay, this price has gone up by 38% in the last 6 months, for example, or 10% since the last quarter results were released at least. So what I can do is I can check every company who makes this. JBF Industries, maybe I've not heard of, or I can look at every company who uses this and therefore explore further. I've found companies like this, like a lot of the caustic soda companies and all, the smaller ones which I hadn't heard of. I'm sure you guys must have tracked quite a few and their prices were jumping. It was a discovery mechanism in that sense.
Okay.
But yeah, you can come here if you've invested in some company and you know it makes raw materials, and what is raw materials are like phenol. I don't know if you have invested in Deepak Nitride. You can just check the last 3 months price is flat, last 1 week price is flat, last 1 month price is flat. So you know what to expect from that segment going forward. You can also find this company Hind Organic Chemical, which seems to be making phenol as well. And maybe it's a reason to dig more.
Or
That's
even
it.
the other way around, if we have some company in our portfolio, and just to know if the margins will fall because there is a raw material,
Exactly.
that also.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's what, if you have Deepak Nitrite in your portfolio, you might want to check phenol prices maybe 1 week or so before the quarterly results to know what to expect.
Great.
The 3-month change anyway. So again, this is another way how you can track chemical prices, metal prices, niche indices, and find companies to invest in, or at least find ideas to research or not to invest in. The last thing I'll show you, we'll talk about timeline a bit little later, but what timeline does is it's basically like you tell Tijori your watch list or your portfolio companies, and it generates a sort of Facebook or not as trivial as Facebook or Instagram, but it generates that sort of interest-based feed on those companies. So what that means is, if you look at this sample portfolio, this person has, uh, 3 portfolios, or yeah, 1 portfolio, 3 watch lists, 2 portfolios, 3 watch lists. That gives us a bunch of companies. Based on those companies, we generate a timeline of events which might be useful to know as an investor or as a person who has interest in those companies. Okay, so maybe this person has Indian Energy Exchange in their watch list. What we've done is we scrape a lot of sources, exchange filings, credit rating, insider trades, market share, this, that, and the other, Twitter, and look for any relevant information, clean it, scrub it, and put it in one place for you. So for example, Indian Energy Exchange, if you have any interest in IEX, on Twitter, there's some talk about what they have said on competition on new exchanges in 2022. Someone has actually taken the pain to highlight it for you and stuff. It might be worth your time to click on it and explore further, right? Of course, we track all the exchange filings and stuff. You can also track, if I just unselect it from here and maybe I want to just know market share updates. So because I have HDFC Bank in my watch list, it is telling me market share updates on debit card, credit cards, mobile banking. So credit cards, its market share has gone up in April as compared to March. So these are just different data points that we stream into your timeline based on companies that are in your watch list and portfolio.
So this is like social media plus regulator plus some other sources.
So these are all the events that are there: exchange filings, credit ratings, insider trades, and market share, price changes, revenue mixes. If company suddenly releases a new revenue mix, Twitter, all these are there. We were talking about how you can, of course, this is how you can track companies, but how you can discover companies is, what many people do is, if you just come to all companies here, I have put a market cap filter of more than 200 crores. I can change it to even 100 crores. Actually, I personally always put 1,000 crores. You can maybe look for all the promoters who bought shares, and then we filter it by those. So in India Pesticides, the promoter has bought these many shares 24 minutes ago, or it's been reported to the exchange 24 minutes ago. Okay. Like this, you can just, you'll get in 1 second, you'll get all the companies who bought shares. Then maybe you are saying, okay, I don't want smaller companies. I want only companies more than 1,000 crore market cap, which is what personally I do. Then it'll filter by that. Maybe you want only in some sectors, you can filter by whatever sectors you want as well over here. And this is one way you can find companies. So maybe India Pesticides is not a company you heard of, and you might want to research it further. Okay. Another thing I do for discovery is Twitter is a great source to discover companies. Might not be the best place to take research ideas from, but definitely company ideas. I have got a lot of ideas from Twitter. If you just click, we have sort of run an engine to classify tweets. In that, if you click on company discovery inside Twitter, so let me just do that. So, okay, you will get this. There was someone spoke about Gati, where they said ICICI Securities has given it an upgrade of 116%. So it's not something you should immediately act on, but it might be a reason to just think that, okay, why have they done it? And at least research further. right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, someone has spoken about Vishnu Chemicals, and the best part is they don't just give the name. In Twitter, there's always at least some snippet of why you should be interested, at least something to pique your interest. Of course,
Margin
you should never act on it. At least you can research further from it. So this person is talking about Vishnu is talking about Vishnu
margin
Chemicals.
expansion. Srinidhi's tweet
Yeah.
talking about operating leverage and margin expansion.
No new capacities coming up globally. It might be I'm not saying you take it very seriously. I'm not saying you open your account there only and start buying shares, obviously. But it might be a reason that you at least go and look that, okay, why has ICICI up? I mean, they don't usually do 120% price upgrades, right? At least why? Or you get the idea, right? It's not
Yeah. So
a,
in the
it's
text,
not,
some optimism is there with some kind of text, and then we need
of
to
course,
find it whether that optimism
of
is
course.
valid or not.
Yeah, and one more thing you should do is on Twitter, they also highlight corporate governance, uh, like Saurabh is saying. I check this once in a while. I mean, just to be sure. So, okay, today Biocon for some reason has been flagged. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, there was an incidence of some bribery where it looks Biocon has been named.
Okay, that's very surprising. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can also check for corporate governance red flags raised on
And
Twitter.
how
So,
long we can go back in the history if we want to do this? Is it like for
so
daily
the thing
research?
is, yeah. So Twitter's fire hose to procure is too expensive and they don't give it. So I think we have, uh, I'm sorry, but it won't be data from say further back than even November, December, maybe 6 months.
Okay. But let's
So
say if we go 1 year forward, will we have all this history available?
yeah.
So at least, at least from last 6 months, we will have a good history to be
100%,
next. Great.
100%, 100%. And what you can also do is search for those terms, or like I'm just giving you now maybe too many ways how to discover companies, but maybe you want to search for a term all amongst all filings. Let me just change the market cap here. And you say you want all the filings that have even released or have even mentioned expansion or capex or facility. It just searches across all, and in one place, hopefully you should get it very soon. And you say, no, I want only exchange filing. So then you just do this and then you search again. And then you get all the exchange filings where they've spoken about either expansion or their capex or their facilities. And then you're like, no, I don't want the word facility. And then you get the idea.
Great. Got it.
So, like I said, discovery research, transaction tracking, I've just given you some ways you can discover companies. In research, like I was saying, we are more focused on unstructured data. I'll just give you a very quick example. Otherwise, maybe I'm giving too much info. So I'll just take any company, some that I know Saurabh has spoken about, AGs. So of course, to get the financial or commoditized data like P&L, balance sheet, corporate announcements, or capital market action like buybacks and stuff like that is very commoditized and easy to get. What we do is, like I said, we try to structure the unstructured data. So what that means is, for example, we want this company's market share in a product which is important to it, which happens to be here LPG import. We also get its product wise breakup, vertical wise breakup, volume wise breakup, location wise, operating profit wise breakup, capex wise breakup. By segment you can get the whatever on whatever dimensions you want, you can break it up. You can also look at it historically. So we just click the historic button here. Okay, for this we have only this much data, but if you take this one, for example, we have data historically and how it's moved over time for this company. So you can see progression over time. Okay, that is one something that's used a lot. You can also track a lot of metrics which are important for this company. Like, I mean, Saurabh will know better than me, but maybe for this company, these metrics are very important.
Yeah.
Static capacity, terminal volumes. I don't know, Saurabh, maybe you will testify whether these are important.
Yeah.
So what we do is, like I said, we focus on the heavily unstructured bit of information that we can get out there, crunch it, scrub it, clean it, make it comparable, and put it in one place. So of course, these metrics are relevant for this company. If I take some company like HDFC Bank, I mean, that's quite a big company, but anyway. So here again, we'll have market share, but here will be cater to HDFC Bank. What is market share in advances, deposits, credit card, debit card? Maybe there's sometimes too much information, net interest income, number of accounts in broking, mobile banking. What is market share in each of these places? It's revenue broken along many dimensions of segments on loans, operating profit, locations, and many more, I'm sure, borrowings and stuff
So the
like
whole
that.
operational data and operational KPIs.
Whole. And then as a bank, you can get all its operational data on net NIMs, NPA.
Right.
And I mean, I didn't mention that you can click on this and then you can compare it right then. Yeah. So like I was saying, I mean, to do research, you can get all this, unstructured data. You can, for HDFC Bank, you'll get the NIMs and the CASA and whatnot, how it compares over time. You can also add any comparison you want. So I just took UCO Bank because I'm trying to say that you can take any odd bank or any NBFC that you want and just compare it to HDFC Bank. And this saves a lot of time because imagine having to do this over time for one company and then for the 5 comparators and then for each metric.
Usually we do it physically, going through each annual report and then collecting it.
Yeah. And so a lot of people have told us, I mean, because a lot of serious researchers only use our tool, that, how do I believe you? How do I know this number is true? What you do is below everything, there's a source button. So you click on source, I've clicked on it, and it will take you to the exact place where we got the data from. So even the exact page. So, so we've got it somewhere here and you can see it highlighted here, what the core net interest margin on total assets were and on interest earning assets and stuff. So basically, I'm trying to say that if you click on something and it takes you to the exact place where we got the data point from. Okay. So again, if I click on, say, CASA ratio for March 22, if I click on the source, it will take you to the exact place in whatever exchange filing or whatever source we had. This is cost to income and CASA will be here. CASA deposits 48.2. And over here, you see 48.2. So that's how we close the loop. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to explore. Like, I mean, this is just company level data. We also cover sector level data, like HDFCs in the banking sector, like that we have for 15, 20 sectors. And within those, you can go and explore more. So in the banking sector, you can see how banks compare to general insurance, life insurance, how private banks, public banks, market share across various products like advances, deposits, NIMs, basically just see it all in one place. A lot of operational metrics at the sector level and at the company level, like deposits, advances and stuff. I mean, you can go wild and maybe it's too much to talk at one time. But yeah, I mean, we have company level data, sector level data, and then even macro level data, which, just to complete the whole picture for you.
And I think at the top, you have a button which you click, you get some list of those 20 industries.
Yeah, so here, correct. Sorry. So on the top right, if you click here, sorry, the screen is a bit laggy for some reason, so I'm not getting the feedback. But on the top right, if you can see the initials,
yeah.
And if you click, you will see all the features that are there and you can go and explore more.
So Varun, okay. Should we pause and take some questions again? We'll go to the next phase or?
Yeah. So, I mean, right now I've spoken about discovery and research. So maybe we can take some questions now and yeah, then, then we can talk about what's next.
Sure. So folks, I think everybody can, unmute themselves and please go ahead and ask if you have any questions so far.
Thanks, Saurabh. So I can get started. So thank you. First of all, I've been a Tijori user almost for 6 months now, I guess.
Oh, thank you.
But then today, but here is the embarrassing part, right? I discovered that I'm not using it fully, not even to the 50-60% level today after I saw the demo from
Don't feel bad, Shekhar. I'm there with you.
So, yeah, this is a design problem we definitely have. I mean, yeah, for sure.
So no, I don't think it's about design problem. I think it's about for us to explore every single inch of the the feature. But hopefully, this session is really helping in for me to do a better job from tomorrow. But so question that I have is, while obviously there were so many different filters that I've been using trying to figure out where is the the best value available right now. But one place where I'm struggling is, for example, reverse DCF, I think is an amazing feature that you have in the financials, right?
Okay.
We could go back and figure out what is the growth rate the company have.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to do was, for example, a situation like this in the current market where there is a lot of correction happening, I would want to know, for example, okay, what are the cheapest possible companies in terms of the reverse DCF?
Yeah, so
I think right now
I know what you're saying. You want to filter by that criteria. Tell me companies which, according to my criteria and reverse DCF, has the lowest implied growth rate. Correct?
Right. Exactly. Right now, I think the way at least I'm familiar with it is, for each company which is on my watch list, I'll come to the reverse DCF, see the growth, and play around with the parameters, etc. But it will be great if it can be expanded to more companies.
So what we're doing is, one is we are putting it straight in the watch list. Let me just go to the watch list. So these are just sample watch lists that we have out there for every user. You see fundamental and performance, right? We are going to put a button here saying reverse DCF. So you can just run it in one place. Wonderful. So what that means is, like, if you look at the sample portfolio that's out there, if you go to your portfolio, I'm not sure how many, you should add your portfolio here for sure. In portfolio, once you add it and go to the analysis tab, there's a reverse DCF section. Okay. If you click on it, you see all the companies in your portfolio. And immediately you can see what is the implied growth rate. So for example, maybe Saurabh has an expectation to make 18% from the market. Okay. So once he will have to actually tell us what he thinks is the terminal multiple for all these companies. Like, I'm just putting it out there now. But then it'll be it'll immediately tell him that if you want 18% from AG's logistics, and if you believe that in 10 years, it'll have a terminal multiple of 25 based on its earnings, then, and its current multiple is 20, which is not editable, obviously, then the implied growth rate is 10%. Okay. So exactly this, the first step that we're taking is we're going to add it to the watch list. I mean, maybe in a week or two only. It's already under development and then testing and whatnot. Wonderful. So that's one thing that we're doing. The second thing that, I'll just give you a rough workaround. What you can do is, you need to basically, this is just a hack. Okay. If you want to filter by that, what you should do is, like, say your definition of earnings is actual net profit. Okay. Like, for example, my definition of earnings is cash flow from operations. Okay. But if yours is actual net profit, then you need to just and if your discount rate is 18%, you need to just see at what PE, do it for any company, but see at what PE will the implied growth rate be, say 10%. Okay. And then filter by that PE. So what I do is, I do what market cap by CFO. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a very roundabout way, but it's a hacky way, and but it works.
Yeah. I think I can experiment. And of course, you also said that in about next week or two, we should have that feature available in the watch list as well.
In the watch list, yeah. But doing it in the filter is a design problem, because there are 3 independent variables.
Correct.
Which is earnings, discount rate, and terminal value, which you can control one. But to control for 3 is a UI issue, which, we kind of deep.
But Varun, even portfolio, like, maybe we can create 2 portfolios. One portfolio could be the real one, and other one could be a watch list, and still we can have this functionality right now.
Yeah. So to avoid this hack, many people are doing that. To avoid you doing this hack, we just let you create many watch lists. So you can create 10 watch lists, and we'll allow you to just, and we'll put the reverse DCF tab there only. So you don't have to do all that. And of course, you don't have to keep re-entering, because let me just go back to this to the sample portfolio. And
so once it's saved there.
Yeah, it's saved there. Exactly. That's what I wanted to show you. So you don't have to sit and break your head and do it every time. where is it? I changed AGs to 25, right?
Correct.
So,
correct.
and my discount rate, so it just stays there, because typically your discount rate is not going to change. Your definition of earnings won't change, but definitely your perception of what the multiple is might change. So you might want to change that, but at least you'll have that. So if the price changes, like supposing today or in the next week, the market goes down by 10%, the multiple will change,
Right.
which will mean your implied growth rate will change. So you can just come and track it there whenever you want.
Correct. No, absolutely. I think this is awesome feature.
Currently, I think there are two plans, right? One is, two plans. I just wanted to know what exactly is the main difference between the.
So, yeah, sure. I will maybe just take you there. So can everyone see?
Yeah.
So these are the two plans Deepak's talking about, Pro and Premium. The difference is, I mean, here you have 5 watch lists, here you have 10. You can view market, macro, raw material pages how many ever times you want. In the Pro thing, you can go to 50 unique pages, 50 unique company or sector pages, but you can go how many ever times. So for example, if you go to HDFC Bank, you can go to HDFC Bank even 20,000 times this month. That's no problem. But you can go to 50 companies or sectors like HDFC Bank. That's the thing. And even filters, you can run 50 queries in the Pro plan. In the Premium, you can run how many ever you want. So that's the main difference right now. That's it. And of course, here 5 watch list, 10 watch list. We are making this whole, you can upload 10 portfolios into your into Tijori, and we'll give you a consolidated view. For that, there might be some differentiation later, but honestly, these things we think of last, so, but there will be some difference, but what they are, I can't tell you in portfolio. But as of now, the difference is this in watch list and how many times you can go to the filter and how many times you can go to the company page. That's it. So if you're not on researching every day and stuff, I would suggest just go with the intermediate plan. It would be enough for your needs. Many of our users, or majority of our users, are full time into the markets and researching the whole day and stuff for tracking. They're pretty much 4-7 hours a day into it. For them, they always buy the premium plan because they don't want to think about it too much. So that's the main difference. Does that answer?
Yeah, clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and one more question I have.
Yeah.
So there is no export feature, right, to an Excel sheet. So this is intentional.
So yeah. In the so this is one of the most requested. In the filter, if you filter, you can export. What happened was initially, maybe Saurabh will remember, there was an export. You could export the whole company page itself. People, I mean, they sort of started misusing it and putting it here, there, everywhere. So we took it out and all that. But yeah, we should put it back on. We just had a bad experience, so we took off the export feature. But yeah, we should put it back on.
Yeah, I think if there is an export feature, it would be helpful, because if we are using some scripts, then yeah, it would really help.
Yeah, you're talking about the financial or the pie charts and stuff, the financial data?
Not only financial, but I think the market share and so on.
Yeah, for sure. Not just export. Even if we give you an API, maybe you'd want it better, but we want to do both. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we can try again. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was saying is a suggestion, couple of them. One is if, in the design side, if you can have a timeline or a my page sort of a thing where we can have some rigid formulations where we can track multiple of your sources, things like that. And secondly, second is the note section for each page, so we can tab it down and track it later on when we come back. That is the second thing. And the third thing is even the he said about the Excel function, Saurabh has made a nice template for us, and it would be great if we can collaborate and have us that export function so that we can track the data and analyze it much more. Just leave it now. It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, all three are very useful. The first one actually we are trying to design now is the hardest to do, the widgets. So what I think you mean is you want a kind of dashboard where you add any widget, like say you want to track, maybe you want to track FII flows on a weekly basis. You just add that widget and you come every day and see it.
So suppose I'll just give an example. One widget would probably just say my portfolio would be one widget, my watch list with my other widget, my third widget would be your your indexes, where I can just see which is
top
working
gainer,
most,
top
where
losers,
top gainer, the fourth would be a timeline sort of a thing, things like that, like just that way.
So that is
so
something,
terminal view, that sort of a thing, like one page I can put everything, and from there I can just go wherever I want.
Yeah, so this is something we're actively designing. I mean, we are going to get it done. The notes, I'm not sure why we haven't done it. It's pretty easy to do. We will do that. And even the Excel, I mean, now, I mean, notes and Excel, we should get it done ASAP. And
so notes also, just if you're designing, just see to it that we can see the notes also in one place at one time if you want. I need not go to that particular page of the company, so that I just can, from the notes I can go to the company that way, rather than going from the company to the notes.
I mean, both ways, notes to company or
company both ways. Yes,
that for sure. We'll do. I mean, just we get a lot of feature requests, and it just becomes a question of good prioritization. But we will get this done. But export to Excel actually has been very requested, and I don't know why we've been postponing the decision. I mean, there's no good reason, and we'll just get it done soon, I think, now. And the widget bit, it's a bit of designing work to maintain performance and all that. So we will do it, but we're still in the design phase. I mean, so it's a bit of time away.
Sure. Any other questions? Are we good? Okay, looks like we are good. So Varun, any more like latest features which we need to cover, or what's coming?
So I mean, like we said, discovery research, transaction tracking. We are not into transactions. I gave a walkthrough about discovery and research. We're spending a lot of effort now in our tracking and making our tracking strong. So for us, tracking means one is, of course, this widget dashboard to track your whole universe in one place, but that's still in the design phase. What we have now and what we're strengthening is, tracking companies which are one in your portfolio and two in your watch list. So of course, you can add companies to your watch list here. You can add up to 10 watch lists and 50 companies per watch list. So 500 watch lists. You can export it to Excel and whatnot. Let me just move this Zoom's widget so I have space. You can edit the columns of the watch list, make your own formulas, add whatever you want to make it look like how you want. This is how my watch list looks. Like I said, for me, cash flow from operations is actual earnings. So I use this metric. You can make whatever formula you want and put it in one place. You can also add companies to your portfolio. You can drag drop an Excel, download your trade book and drag drop an Excel. If you do that, we'll give you your IRR as well, because we'll have historical transactions. Or you can directly connect to your broker. We've tied up with Small Case Gateway. So you connect to your broker, and based on that, we generate a whole bunch of analytics for you on your portfolio, like how it compares versus mutual funds, where its exposure is based on geography, based on location, based on segments, based on raw materials. Even I've lost track now, how it's correlated to each other and stuff like that.
These are available, or are some of these coming?
No, these are all available right now. Okay. So basically what we are focusing on right now is adding more asset classes to the portfolio. Right now, just direct equity. We will soon allow you to add, I don't know how many of you all have added your have invested in small cases, but definitely mutual funds will be there soon. You guys should definitely add your portfolio. And I mean, how many of you all, I'm sure some of you all at least are managing it even for your, your, maybe your wife or your husband or your spouse basically, or your child or your parents and stuff like that. You can put all their portfolios here as well, just so that you can track it in one place. You can add a portfolio as easy as just literally click on this plus button for new portfolio and you'll get a new portfolio. And you can track it all in one place. What we're working on now is to strengthen it, to get you alerts and better alerts on this and help you track it better. This is our basic direction right now.
Great. I think I am also yet to explore in detail timeline watchlist portfolio. In fact, timeline, because we interacted multiple times. Now I'm totally aware, but watchlist and portfolio, it looks very exciting.
Yeah. So what you should do, Saurabh, is go to portfolio, and I mean, just to do a low effort thing to start, just connect your broker. It'll take maybe 2 clicks. You can connect your broker in. We'll pull all the data and you'll get a timeline based on your portfolio companies also in within maybe a second.
Mm-hmm.
And
when you say broker, is it like Zerodha, ICICI?
Yeah.
All the tie-ups are there.
Yeah. So some bank-based brokers are very strict about it. So HDFC Bank and all are not exposing for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Zerodha, Upstocks, I don't know, Grow, Done, all these guys we have, and you can import your portfolio in maybe 30 seconds, maybe. And you don't even have to update it after that. It'll automatically update, or you just click the sync button and it'll sync by itself. So no need to maintain it and stuff like that.
Awesome. I think XIRR and all those returns, I think that's a struggle. I think apart from, I don't know, like many of the brokers, I feel, all that information is missing. So I think that will be very helpful.
Yeah, for sure. So for XIRR, you'll need to give me your historical transactions. For that, you'll have to download one. That's a little more hard work you'll have to do. You have to download your trade book and drag drop it into Tijori. But to just see the first level analysis, I would suggest first connect your broker, understand what's there, and then go to IRR and stuff like that.
Sure. I think Dhruv has one question. Yeah, Dhruv, go ahead.
Hi, Varun. A couple of suggestions here.
Yeah.
One thing is for the bank brokers, if you can just take up the contract note format and allow us to import the PDFs or things like that. That would be helpful. That was one. Secondly, is in the portfolio, if you can add a cash position also. So, that way the XIRR, we get the true picture of the XIRR.
Yeah. That second point.
I have M Profit has that feature. So cash position is something very big. And since we are going to add multiple assets, so even we'll be having exposure to gold and say suppose silver or a debt mutual fund or something like that. So portfolio level XIRR will change accordingly.
Yeah, and not just your portfolio, across your portfolios, because I'm guessing the kind of audience that uses us, they will be tracking for their immediate universe. So across the portfolios also, we will give you the return.
Yeah. Another thing, if you can develop a composite index based upon the large cap, mid cap, and a comparison of the XIRR with the 3 indices, and along with that a composite index based upon the weightages that we have to those sectors, like the caps, which also it can be generated based upon the weightage, because you will be coming to know where it is.
Yeah. So to the index you can compare even now. Weightage, I didn't really get your point. What is the...
So I'll just give you a simple example. So you might right now allow us to compare to say mid cap, small cap, large cap, and a 500 possibly. I have my portfolio, which is say 30% large cap, 40% mid cap, and another 30% small cap. So based upon that, the AI or the system generates based upon just a Sensex or a top 250 mid cap and all. It will give a weightage to 3 indices in that.
Yeah. So we go one step further also. So based on your exposure to small, large, mid, if I go to performance analysis, we compare it because according to us, if you're putting direct equity, then you need to see how it compares to similar mutual fund at least first.
Okay,
So,
great.
for example, this portfolio has 58% in small, 41% in mid, and 0 in large. We compare this guy's performance to Axis Small, SBI Small, DSP Small, and HDFC Small. Okay. And in case you had given us historical data, we will even compare your NAV and market value to the closest. I mean, we allow you to add mutual funds as comparisons, as indices, as TJ indices, even companies. Like many people have told us, should I just invest in Reliance or invest in my portfolio? So you can add any benchmark you want.
Got it. Fair enough.
Okay.
Any more questions we have? Else I have few questions from social media also.
Yeah, sure.
But there are a few chat messages. Let me see. Okay. I think Sachin had a question. Can we connect to multiple brokers for a consolidated portfolio view?
Yeah, so you can connect to multiple brokers. Just add one more portfolio. Consolidated table I'm working on now. Hopefully in next 4-5 days I'll release it. I didn't the code base getting. I mean, we didn't do it for some back-end reason that we didn't release all it at one time. But for now, you can add multiple brokers, and in a week, I'll even give you the consolidated return of across all those brokers.
Awesome. There are a few more interesting suggestions, and I think one was, and I think I believe you can easily do this. So requesting to cover promoter management credentials, salaries, and bonuses. I think the way you extract things from annual reports, how difficult or easy it is, because I think all of us, I think one promoter salary and second related party transaction. These are the two things I think everybody goes through.
So yeah, so we used to take. Let me just show you. I just took IEX because it was there. So again, IEX, you can see all his market share and all that. I think we used to take management compensation as a percentage of sales, but that is not very useful. We need to take it as a percentage of free cash flow or as a percentage of net of the salary and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely we can take it. And strengthening we don't have a tab called corporate governance. Basically, we want to put all the red flags there, put all the related party transactions which are suspect over there, put all the remuneration kind of statistics there. But again, it's sort of a thing we've put on the back burner based on our immediate focus. But yeah, I mean, it's a valid.
Yeah, in fact, there was another suggestion from Nikhil which said if you can create a elaborated financial Shenanian tool. So I think you've covered.
Yeah. So what Nikhil means is that I'll just show you again with IEX because it's just there. If you click on quick look, we just show red flags which are really out of bounds, or not red flags even. So stuff like, we scan 1020, accounting metrics. And if anything is out of bounds is when we alert the user. So for example, in IEX, the main driver of ROE trend over the last 10 years is financial leverage, for example. You might not know that by just looking at the company. These sort of red flags we put, what he's trying to say is, can you show us the universe of red flags? And one is increase the coverage of red flags. And second is, be more transparent about how you calculated it and stuff like that. So yeah, point taken. That we can do pretty quickly, and I'll get that done.
Sure. I think
if I can just chip in,
yeah, go ahead.
Saurabh, sorry.
Go ahead.
So in the annual report side, another thing, whenever you want to get it, auditors can make specific qualified opinions also on matters, which can be easily captured because those words are very clear, like qualified opinion. And that if we can just highlight and put it, okay, this is a qualified opinion. So it is easier to quickly, there's a good red flag out there, and it's easier for the AI to also detect that.
Yeah. And there are many things, like there are some notes to accounts, for example, which are non-standard, like you can like say statistically, this is a weird note to account. I mean, this is just taking it one step further, but we should be able to highlight all those as well. Yeah. I mean, not all these, the design problem we face is not everything is a signal. how much is noise, how much signal, what to show, what not to show.
Maybe some kind of outlier revenue recognition principle and those things.
So we have those, yeah. So those sort of things, like, see, like Saurabh is saying outlier, we have those sort of scanners on the companies. Only if it crosses a threshold, we show it. So Saurabh won't know that we actually are running that scanner, not showing it. Maybe the company passed it. So there are a lot of these design flaws that we need to correct, which we are in the process of correcting right now. But I get your point about auditors, qualified remarks, and notes to accounts and stuff. They are very important and something that we've not been able to do a good job on.
No, Varun, you are doing great and you are going to only improve from there. So don't say like that.
No. I'm just.
This was just a suggestion, not a complaint. So please don't take it that way.
No, I'm not taking
You
it
are
as
doing a fantastic.
No. I'm taking it as feedback. It's not a complaint. That yeah, there are a lot of areas in corporate governance, management, and related party. That whole universe, we've not been able to, find a good solution to.
And I think nobody's providing it, and that is where the big wealth destruction happens. Apart from buying overvalued stuff, so I think that would be, if we have something like that which is helpful, that would be really great actually.
Yeah, for sure.
And one last suggestion which is there, I think this will be a popular demand for custom ratios, where people can create their own ratios and then add it to their tracking watch list or.
Yeah, so people told us that, so we've taken the first step in watchlist. Now you can add your custom ratio. We'll allow it in portfolio soon, and then in company financials page as well. Step by step, and then we'll put it in the filters. I mean, filters, you can already do it, so not filters. But yeah, we'll get this done now very.
Oh, great. So it's already there in watchlist.
Yeah, watchlist, you can add your custom ratio. So what you have to do is just go to watchlist and sorry, let me remove this. In this edit column, you can add whatever columns you want, put custom fields, and you can create, whatever field you want. Just write the name and write the formula here. Like maybe you want market cap by, make sure you pick the drop down, market cap by free cash flow, whatever, and you can make your own formula and add it there.
I think we should do this session every 6 months or at least a year, because a lot of new things come up and we are not aware. Okay.
Yeah, we add with quite a strong, what do you say, velocity, but
maybe we have a page somewhere which says what are the new things added in last 6 months, and going through that will ensure people are not missing any of these beautiful features.
Yeah, we did some basic things like sending your mail, but yeah, so we need to take care of this.
Amazing. Like
we need to take care of this outreach basically.
Yeah, I think half of the things which people asked in some form, that has been done, and later half it's work in progress. So that's great to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything more? Any questions? I think from my side I'm done. Or Varun, anything more you want to cover?
No, I mean just that we were focusing on discovery research. Now maybe 100% of the time, now maybe 50% of the time is on discovery and research. Of course, we have a lot to do there. We're going to focus a lot now on tracking mutual funds on your store. I mean, apart from your direct equity, every instrument type, and maybe different instrument types of different asset classes also. So we don't have commodities and stuff right now. That's just the path that we're going down, and hopefully it'll be useful for everyone.
A lot of these new features we will be using it extensively, and maybe again in next 2 to 3 months we'll give you our feedback. There's a lot of exciting things, but
yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe I didn't mention that it's paid, but you can add a watch list and use timeline and all for free also. So you can add one watch list, add 30 companies to start off with, and use timeline for free. So maybe check that out and then take the call.
Sure. In fact, I was not aware, when did you introduce those technical analysis features? Because I remember 4 months back we were discussing these parameters. So like, did you introduce that in last 4 or 5 months, or it was already existing?
No, maybe in the last month or 45 days it was.
Great. Great. Thanks a lot, Varun, and
Yeah.
best wishes from the whole scientific investing community.
Thanks.
We have been a user, and we will use it in much more detail now.
No, thanks, Saurabh. I think our thought process is pretty. I mean, I know what I've seen. I watch all your videos. It's always insightful. Being on that side, I know how much time it takes to crunch that sort of data. Hopefully, we'll save you some time in the future.
Thanks, Varun, and thanks to everybody for coming at
thanks.
the working day at
9:30. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, and asking all these important questions and with all the valuable feedback. So thank you, everyone. Thanks, Varun.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Saurabh.